Thank you for calling Intel. My name is Jed. May I have your first and last name, please?
Rick Smith.
And are you an end user or a reseller?
I'm an end user.
Just in case we get disconnected here, what's a good number to reach you at?
719-685-2793.
Appreciate that. What can I help you out with today?
Yeah, I'm considering purchasing an Intel Core i7 980X processor because I've heard
Sure.
that it can edit videos pretty well.
Yeah, it can really speed up the time if you're doing a lot of video editing, batch conversion of files, all that sort of stuff really
Yeah.
cuts down the time involved. A lot of number crunching potential in there.
Mm-hmm. So, so if I wanted to get two of those, would they be able to fit like just together? Like, are they just supported if you just like put them together, like magnetism
Um, via how now?
via magnetism?
Magnets, how they work. No, you'd want to look at possibly a dual socket system, and in that case, you'd probably want to look at the Xeon 5600 series, which has 6 core equivalents to what the 980X is to the kind of the consumer market.
Yeah. Well, if I'm looking at that particular thing, how many audio? Like, I wanted to plug in like a couple pairs of headphones, like several speakers. Like, how does that? How many audio? Like, how good is it audio wise?
The processor, well, the processor really doesn't determine the audio capabilities. It's more
So
so going to be
you
a
can't plug
feature
in
of the
headphones into
motherboard.
the processor.
No, unfortunately not.
Well, what about the motherboard? Like a dual socket like motherboard, AMD or whatever.
Dual socket board, I guess it really depends on the specific board. And usually, though, if you're really an audiophile, getting an add-in
What's an
sound card
audiophile?
is really going to be. That's somebody who's an audio enthusiast. And if you really want to go that route, getting an add-in sound card is really what you should be
Does
looking
Intel make
into.
sound cards?
No,
Or
that's
should I
currently
buy an
not something
should I
they
buy an
manufacture.
AMD sound card?
I don't believe they manufacture sound cards either.
Oh, I have another question. Like concerning AMD versus Intel. Like which one's better?
Concerning,
Which one's better?
uh,
I heard that AMD has more cores.
well, we do have 8 core processors currently available. I'm not quite up to speed on what AMD is doing, but
They have
uh,
12 core processors. That's a lot better.
interesting. Huh.
That's four more cores. Like, will they perform better if I put them into like two of those into like a dual socket Intel motherboard or whatever? That will they be like
Uh,
really fast?
no, it wouldn't be fast at all since it wouldn't run since each company has its own proprietary socket type.
Okay, if I put it in like whatever socket thing works, would it be like faster than Intel?
Well, I would probably check out some benchmarking data out there, and since we don't really do any comparisons with our competition here.
You just don't care because you always know Intel's the best, right? You can tell by their
Well,
commercials. You can tell by their
we
commercials. High
we
production
sure like to
quality.
think so, right?
So so um so AMD, the big dispute. What about you
Hmm.
guys? Do you guys make graphics cards? Sorry.
We actually were making a graphics card under Project Larrabee. That kind of petered out. Currently, not working on one. I really doubt that we'll go that route in the future. It seems more so Intel's focused on the integrated graphics
Why? I
side of
heard those
things.
are pretty bad. Like
And it
really
depends
bad.
on your application. I mean, if
Well,
you're if you're a high-end
I want
gamer,
to like sometimes I like to run 5 games at once or whatever. You know, like on all five of my monitors.
well, yeah, if you're doing that, integrated graphics definitely not the way to go. But
What graphics would you
for
recommend?
your average home user, that's perfectly fine.
What graphics card would you recommend?
I guess that really depends.
You just don't name
There's
any
some new
brands.
hardware out there. For what you're describing, you definitely want to go very high end, maybe 2 gigabytes of video memory. There's excellent offerings by both ATI and video that will do the trick
Which one
for
do you
you.
like better, personally? Tell you're a very
Personally,
smart man.
Personally, I kind of like the ATI cards, but with me, I don't really look so much at brand versus brand as the
What
individual
color are
model
they?
itself.
What color are the ATI cards? And they're not called ATI anymore. They're called.
Yeah,
I think they're called
they got
ADM.
rebranded.
They're called ADM.
Yeah, they got since essentially MD's the one that bought them out, so they don't no
And
longer call them
yeah,
the
well then,
ATI.
so basically you're saying that you like AMD and that you don't like Intel. Then why are you working for Intel?
Well, I'm just saying video cards. I mean that's not something that Intel
Aren't you supposed to
manufactures.
say
So
like
the
I love integrated Intel graphics, some kind of a spiel that they make you say?
not really. I mean it really depends on your application. I mean if you're doing basic stuff,
I've heard some rumors
there
that
is
I've heard some rumors about the
basic.
NVIDIA graphics cards that they like are really hot and they light on fire and stuff. I just heard these
Uh,
rumors because I personally haven't ever used a
they
Fermi.
they suck up a lot of power. I'll give you that. So where there's a lot of power, there's a lot of heat generated. So yeah,
Okay,
I mean
so
I've never heard of anything like that myself, but definitely it can get warm in there.
do the Xeon, the Xeon brand of Intel, do
Mhm.
they have audio ports on the processors unlike the i7s?
No, not on the processor. Again, you got to remember
Why?
that'll be a board or card level
But
feature.
if I'm paying $1,000, it should be really fast. Why? Why doesn't it have it?
Uh, that's not part of processor technology.
Hey, why didn't you guys buy out Nvidia like ATI?
You never know. That could happen in the future, but
We should.
that's
Be
just
like,
really like I said. Intel really isn't really steering towards that market. Like I said, they're focusing on improving integrated graphics more and more. Probably eventually get to a point where the add-in video card becomes obsolete.
I
Somewhere in the far
sorry,
future. But
I didn't listen to anything you said, but anyways, what about SSDs? I heard that they're just placebos pretty much. Like really expensive hard drives for like 4 times the price for less space.
they
Especially the
can be
Intel ones.
very
I heard the Intel
expensive.
ones are really terrible.
I don't know. I've read some reviews that were quite favorable for them, and I really wouldn't call it placebo. If you've ever seen one in action, incredible boot times. They're especially useful in a mobile unit since there's no moving parts. I've
What's a mobile
literally
unit?
seen
Like on a phone?
more so like a laptop.
How can you watch an SSD if it doesn't have any moving parts? Can I see one in action?
What do you mean exactly by watching it?
Can you just like send me like an SSD so I can observe it?
Well,
How do you see it in
if
action
that
if there
if
are no
that
moving
were in my
parts?
ability, I certainly would do that for you.
Well,
But
can you like ask like your friend
they're
Chris? Can you ask Chris if he can send me one?
that wouldn't be something he'd be capable of doing either, unfortunately. But
Why? But
you
he seemed
could
pretty good though. He seemed like the king neckbeard.
you could look up some videos on Intel's YouTube channel where
But how do you even watch
they
it though if there's no moving parts? Like with hard drives, it's like spinning. It's like.
essentially it's works the same way as a USB or flash drive does.
What's it? What do you mean by that? Like really slow? And you have to plug it into
No,
the USB port? Do you plug an SSD into
no, it
the USB port?
uses the same type of flash memory cells that it uses. So there's no spinning or headers or anything moving around in there.
That means it doesn't work then. It just doesn't even start up if it doesn't spin.
No, there's no spinning involved. It's
Why?
completely different
But then
technology.
it's gonna be slow then.
Actually, it's very fast.
Do you guys make power supplies?
We do have power supplies that we have for our server chassis, yes.
And
Pardon?
and
And that's about it. We don't have power supplies for desktop units.
I'm not making a desktop. I want to build myself a laptop.
For laptops, no, that's not something that we manufacture.
So you can't just like make me one. You can't just send me one for free. Like five
Nah,
Intel Core i7 processors, just like just to test them out. you know?
couldn't do that for you. Sorry.
Yeah, because I'm building this laptop and it only has like one audio port. Do you guys sell audio splitters?
Nope, that'd be another third-party product.
That'd be a pretty good way to make some cash, in my opinion. Don't you think
Well,
so?
I don't, could agree with you there. Yeah,
Cha-ching.
some
You just
cha-ching, definitely.
like you could see the money bags in like your eyes. You know that picture with the cartoons, like ha ha ha. Ha, ha. Okay, yeah. Do you guys sell sound cards?
Nope. Again, that's not something that we manufacture either.
Sorry, I want to make a system that's completely Intel based because I like Intel a lot. I like
Hmm.
them better than AMD because AMD cuts corners. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I heard that they cut corners and that like if you buy like a 12 core processor, only like four of the cores will actually work.
Well, that doesn't sound too good, but yeah,
So
I'm
one
not
time I
really
bought an
too up to
AMD
speed on their
processor and
products.
I opened up the box and like all the pins were bent and
Wow,
there's like writing on the instruction manual that said "fuck you" and I was like, wow. So I had to RMA it
dude.
and stuff.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
I don't know if it was AMD. I had like a strange feeling it was them, but I don't know.
Huh. Well, you definitely don't want to see that when you open up your processor box.
Yeah, Intel. So I heard about these new processors you guys are coming out with. Sandy Bridge.
Ah, yes.
How fast are those?
Yeah, that'll be the next generation of the Core i series. A lot of improvements being made as far as
Are they out yet?
power consumption, and
Or they're
no,
out? I heard
they are
they're
going to
out in
be
some
released.
places.
They'll be released. The big launch is actually going to be at the CES show come January.
Can you send me like an advanced model? I know they're already made.
Yeah, they're made, and engineering samples are sent out kind of at Intel's discretion.
Well, I could be one
So,
of those samples. I can make a video
well,
about it on my YouTube channel and be like, "This is some pretty good processing power, yo," and you guys will be like famous because I have like 5 subscribers.
uh, if you get your name out there enough, they might take notice. So,
Really? Well, how about if you tell them? Tell Chris, tell whatever other guys you have over there, like tell them like this guy Jack, he's freaking awesome. Well, actually, I go by many names. They can call me Rick or Jack or you know John. Several names,
right.
several aliases. You know,
It's all part of
gotta keep it
the,
incognito.
right, exactly.
Yeah. So it's a definite no on sending me like free stuff, right?
Yeah, sorry about
You
that.
can't even send me like 5 heat sinks or whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that for you. It's
Why?
just not something that we're able to do in pre-sales here.
Do you get free stuff from them?
I do wish I did, but no, I don't.
Do you get like, is that a good job, like working in Intel pre-sales? Do you get like tons of cash?
The pay's not too bad.
Really?
Not, I wouldn't say tons of cash by any measure, but
Well, what do you have in
I
your personal rig? Do you run Intel?
do I run Intel? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Are you sure? Are you just lying to me, like just to be like buy Intel, but secretly you have like 5 AMD computers, like just hidden?
The only system I have at home is kind of an older laptop that has Core 2 Duo in it, so
Of course you do. Sure is
it's a little,
2006 around here.
yeah, it's behind the curve, unfortunately, but it suits my purposes for the time being.
Why though? Why don't you have a better laptop? I thought you were.
Nah, I don't really. I'm not looking to get a new laptop. The next system I do. I really want to build a desktop. Is what I'm
I
looking to
built a
do.
desktop, but like I said, I had to. It doesn't have a processor in it anymore because AMD. That little situation that happened with them over there, and I called
Nah.
them, and they don't have very good support like you guys do. Like this pre-sales. Oh man, people actually speak English around here, but like when I called AMD, it was just a bunch of sand niggers.
I
So
see. Wow.
yeah, you guys have great
And
support. Uh,
we're happy to help you out. And Rick, I don't know if you've been there yet, but if you haven't, be sure you stop by our core site as well, intel.com/core.
well,
Think
like I
you'll like
said, I don't have
that.
a
And
computer.
well, when you get the chance. So.
What do you mean when I get the chance? I'm just talking to you right now,
Yeah.
just to find out some information, because I'm planning to like go to the store later, pick up some Intel branded products, make love
Hmm.
to them in my bed, and then put them into my computer. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
So these motherboards, I heard they're pretty good, better than AMD's processors. I mean.